Hi everybody, I'm Michael. Welcome. Well, this time of year, we want to give our thanks to you for joining us. And what better plant to share that with you than the Thanksgiving cactus? This cutie is in full flower. We're right before Thanksgiving. And we've done a video last year about the Thanksgiving cactus and Christmas cactus and other cactuses that you can grow in your home. But we just wanted to share this video and give you a little update and some plant care tips. So, you all ready to dig in? Let's grow. This wonderful houseplant will bring joy to any room in your home. She's just a lovely, lovely houseplant. The Thanksgiving cactus goes by the botanical name Schlumbergera truncata, and she is similar to the Christmas cactus, which goes by the botanical name Schlumbergera bridgesii. There are some differences, namely that this Thanksgiving cactus will have these pointed tips in their truncation here. The Christmas cactus will have more scalloped or rounded edges. And we did a video last year around the holiday time talking about the holiday cactuses and the ones you can get in your home. And there are several out there on the market, but the ones we're talking about today are the Thanksgiving cactus. And we're getting very close to Thanksgiving right now. And our pink is in full bloom and I'm just loving her for it. Our red, this is another Thanksgiving cactus we have over here. And she's just getting ready. She's starting to put out buds all over the place. Little cute ones, little red ones everywhere. So she's probably gonna be flowering in about a week or so, start bringing them out. And the pink has already been flowering for over a week now. And more buds are coming out. Just an adorable houseplant. So to talk more about her characteristics, she's native to the tropical rainforests of Central and South America, mostly in Brazil. And she's more of like an epiphyte. So she grows up in tree trunks and doesn't need a lot of light, but we have found that several times through the year you want to increase the light, and other times of the year you want to dim that down. And we'll talk a little bit more in plant care, but this plant is just a beautiful, exotic looking plant. When she flowers, she's just a showstopper. She is actually very pet friendly. This is not a plant that is dangerous to pets, and she's very, very easy to take care of. So now that we've talked about some of her characteristics, let's go into plant care and we can tell you about how you can take care of her in your home. On plant care, let's first talk about lighting. Your Thanksgiving cactus will want high light throughout most of the year. So all the way from January all the way into September, give her high light. And that's going to be between 500 and 1,000 foot candles. A little bit higher is okay. You just don't want to give direct sunlight. And that could be a south-facing window, a north-facing window, or a west-facing window if she has some afternoon breaks for the tree or some overhang to keep that direct hot afternoon sun from hitting her leaves. Because that can cause her leaves to either get red or sunburned. So you don't want to do that. But highlight will help encourage the plant to grow so you get a nice full plant. And you also do want to rotate your plant, well, speaking of lighting, every 90 days or so that she gets a well-balanced look to her. But in September, you can throttle her back on her lighting. And what we have done is we've moved ours away from the windows so she gets a little bit less light. And we don't necessarily have it where it's in a closet where it's dark. Some folks do that. We just keep ours where it's a little more less light, just over here. We're doing this for show, but we put it over here in September, both of them, and they tend to do well where they're getting this more like 200, 150, 200 foot candles. And that kind of gets her ready to start putting out the blooms. So that's why I'm talking about lighting in this regard. And speaking of blooms, which I did mention earlier, is that this plant has beautiful colors, an array of colors. They can come in red, they have this beautiful pink and orange, or white, or purple. The Christmas cactus has a few more limited colors, but I forgot to mention that earlier and I wanted to point that out, is that just so many colors are out there for you to have in your home. And the pink, I'm telling you, I'm crazy for the pink and the orange, but I love the red. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. And I'd also like to know, before I go into more on plant care, I'd like to know with your Thanksgiving or Christmas cactus, if you have them in your home, we'd love to know how you've been taking care of them, because these guys are actually long-lived, and some folks have had these for decades, and that's a really cool thing to know. And I'd like to know what your thoughts are on that. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. So again, back to plant care. On lighting, we went through that. Now let's talk about soil. Your Thanksgiving cactus and or Christmas cactus, they're very similar in this regard on their needs. It's going to want a well-drained mix, and we like this mix in this ratio: 7 parts cactus mix, 2 parts worm castings, 1 part perlite. Mix it all together, and you can add some bioactives, and we'll be going into detailed written care instructions in a minute, so you can get everything that I'm talking about now all summarized in a nice little sheet that you can keep for taking care of your plant. But we like to mix that together, and that provides a well-drained mix. And that goes into our next point on plant care, on watering. Thanksgiving cactus, in the growth period, say from January all the way through to September, we water ours every 7 to 9 days, but we always check with like a bamboo skewer at that 7 to 9 day period, and we push it down an inch or two. And if it's dry, we know to add some water, but if it's really, really wet, we will hold off. This plant can handle a little bit more water since she's native to a tropical rainforest in her normal growing conditions. So she has not been too picky in that regard, but you do not want to overwater. That's a huge no-no on houseplants. That's why I have noticed so many folks who've written to us and asked us about it. A lot of people tend to overwater. You baby the plant too much with water, and it can cause stem or root rot, and you don't want to do that for this plant. So for most of the year, you want to add water every 7 to 9 days, but then check with a bamboo skewer or use a 2-knuckle rule where you dig your finger into the soil and pull it out. And if you see soil sticking to you and it feels damp, hold off on the watering for a day or so. But in September and October, that's when you want to throttle back your watering to every 14 days or so. And that will help encourage her to kind of push these blooms out. But when she starts blooming, we like to add the water back in. So now we're in November, we're adding it a little bit between the 9 and 14 days. We're just testing to make sure it doesn't get too wet, so that she can give her enough energy to push out these blooms, because it takes a lot of energy for plants to do this. And she's just done so well. I'm just so happy. And just, oh my goodness, I hope you all can get one of these. They're so, so pretty, and they're just really easy plants. And from what I've just told you, it's pretty easy to do this. Water them just once a week or so. The soil, once you get the soil mix, she's going to be good for years in the pot. We actually did a video a few months back with my sister, because ours got kind of really pot bound. And these will do well pot bound, they'll flower well for you, but we want to encourage ours to get really big. So we've actually up potted them, and I didn't think she would respond this well this year, because we moved her from one pot into a larger one, both of these. And look at her, she's just gone bananas with her flowers. So she's really digging it. We got a ton of new growth as well. And so the soil mix is good, watering is very important. Fertilizer, let's talk a little bit about that. You want to add fertilizer in the spring months, but you want to not add fertilizer in the fall when she's starting to bloom. She's already got that energy from the fertilizer up until September. And then you just add regular watering, because you don't want to over fertilize by accident and then burn the roots, and then it could suffer the consequences could be on the flowers dropping, or the plant just suffering in general. On humidity and temperature, she'll do fine in home AC, from 60, 78, 80 degrees. These girls do like higher humidity. You could put a pebble tray, and we have done that using leca at the bottom. This is a container within a container. We have leca down here, and the same in her. And that will help as the water drains through. The leca will absorb that, and then it will help that evaporate up and bring moisture up into the plant. So that gives you a little bit north of 40%. So that's ideal, but we have actually grown this for a long time before we even put her in leca to help encourage, and she's still flowered. So on this, I think I hit the roundabout on all the points I wanted to touch base with you, but if I forgot any, don't worry, we're going to go into written care instructions right now, and I'm going to summarize everything I talked about with you, and then we'll come back and do a quick closing on the end. All right, let's go into that step. we want to thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any thoughts or questions, just leave them in the comment section below and I'll make sure I get back to you. And we hope you can get yourself a Thanksgiving cactus. What a great plant to have, especially around the holidays and when we're giving thanks for our friends and family. What a wonderful plant to have flowering in your homes. Just a joy to have. So till the next video, bye. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And tell your friends and family. We post videos weekly. Thanks.